Good afternoon. It's Sunday. Hi, Christy. We got a fair bit done yesterday. Somewhat ahead of schedule. Normally it takes about a week for me to do a triangle. Now, I do realise a lot of this is because of the few hours I put into said week. But we finished, despite having 2 days off this week, we finished a triangle on Friday. And, well, last night, I got raided by a lot of people and felt slightly overwhelmed because I'm, not used to that kind of numbers. But we made progress. So, as you can see, and it was all your fault. No, good morning. Hang on. I need to sneeze. Hang on. You are so grateful I muted that. Right. You don't know how grateful you are. I am not a quiet sneezer, but that was a good... I think I threw my neck out. Dear. Anyway, so... we're going to continue on where we left off, kind of deal, yesterday. And see how well we can do. I am feeling slightly worse for wear today, because the clocks went forward and I frankly was technically up till 4 o'clock this morning. So I am feeling a little second-hand today, but nothing too bad. Nothing that can't be worked with. So, let's have a look. You're not exactly the most level of bobbins, are you? Go like that. And we add you. And we still start stealing my pins. So, it is vaguely sunny outside, actually. I apologise in advance to the vegans, but I had a really nice bacon sandwich for lunch. It was phenomenal, so that was a happy moment, and I had a nice cup of tea with it from my lovely new kettle. So if nothing else, hopefully my stomach won't be rumbling, and I'll be able to concentrate on making some lace. So how is everybody? Feel free to share your life moments and your current workings, whichever you do or do not feel comfortable with. You are welcome to partake in as much or as little as you desire. Steal a couple of pins from back here. Give me a pin. Thank you. Was it a pin? Thank you. There we go. Now to find the pin. Oh, there we go. See, yes. the problem with so many things... the problem with so many of these things is that everything's all fine and dandy till it breaks. And, whether it's my kettle or your hot water bottle, you get so used to it working, it doesn't seem to have the most stressful of lives. And then suddenly it stops. And you got so used to it doing its thing that, well, you're a little bit kind of out of sorts when it doesn't. I've got itchy nose. But I'm glad no one was hurt, because obviously, in my case, the water didn't get warm, so, no damage was done other than my cup of tea did not happen. But in the case of a hot water bottle, then obviously you are talking potentially of, scalding liquids. And all it takes is pets and... Cool. I'm glad your fingers are feeling a little bit more amenable to the process of making lace. For those who don't know, Christy makes lace, and she's far faster than I am, and she has big aspirations, much like myself, and is planning in her between times of making a monstrously huge neck curtain. For mine is quite small, realistically. It's less than half a metre by less than a metre. So, even if I rounded it up, it's not that big. Christie's is like 4 or 5 times the size. So, and Christy is definitely. I thought my brain had problems in picking big projects. Christy has definitely beaten me on that one. But she also has videos on YouTube, for which you can go see her. If she wants to post her link to her channel, she's very welcome. Save me finding it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Saves me stopping what I'm doing. So she's welcome to post her link if she would like. So yes, it is good to craft with other people, and even if they're not particularly saying very much. So, it's nice to know. It's nice to feel like you're, because in days of yore, part of lace making, much like spinning, was talking crap while you did it, and it was quite a communal thing. You sat on your doorstep with your mates and you made lace, because what you got to do is something, while it takes concentration, no one's going to pretend that it doesn't. Because, well, if you watched me screwed up last night, you'll know full well that that's definitely a thing. But it is a sociable hobby. It is something, unlike weaving, where you need a really, really, really big, room for your weaving loom, and they're not necessarily portable. All the portable hobbies really were designed to be done with other people. So it is nice when you've got other people around you who, now they don't have to be doing the same, even the same craft. They really, really don't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just checking. But it is such a pleasant thought to think that even though we can be miles and miles away, and in fairness to Christy, she is a good few thousand miles from me. It's nice to kind of have company in your crafting. Especially something like lace, which is fairly slow growing. It's because, most projects take a while. It is nice to have the company along your journey. Let's be honest. As I said yesterday, I am streaming this not for you. I am streaming it more for me. But it gives me an opportunity to have... I didn't add one, didn't I? Nope. Gives me an opportunity to... or you an opportunity to kind of sit with me while I do it. And for me, that helps me kind of have the willpower to do it. Because, you know, I'm a bit of a sad old fart sitting in my house. I don't live with anybody. I don't generally go out very much. So I don't see particularly many people. Now, I talk to a fair few as part of my job. Most of them try my patience. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, you know, that's not always the most pleasurable experiences. Now, don't get me wrong. As people, they're nice people. To work with, some of the things they do really make them quite difficult. It's like your dog. Your dog is a beautiful, wonderful and happy thing. You love it with all your soul. Especially when they're asleep. And you know, some of these co-workers definitely fall into I love them more when they're not talking to me about work. But, you know, when you do your hobbies, you often end up doing your hobby, for want of a better word, alone. It's uncommon that families do a particular craft together. Now, you may kind of sit around on a Sunday afternoon and do some crafting, but if Dad's in the shed and the kids upstairs and you're downstairs, well, you're not really crafting together. You're sitting in your respective rooms doing your own thing. So, for me, the communal aspect of streaming what I'm doing, I find really nice, because it's easy to forget that other people do hobbies too, because many of my friends do not have specifically hobbies, and they don't, or the few that do, don't spend that much time doing them. And so, you know, even if I said, hey, can I come round this afternoon? I'll bring some stuff and we can craft. Doesn't really work that way, because they've got families, life gets in the way, and, you know, they can't guarantee to sit down on a Sunday afternoon and do it. Well, so all the people who are really local to me, and, you know, my friends, I say really local, not all of them are that local, but you know what I mean, can't spare the time. But if I log on here, you know, we've got the likes of, you know, we've got people already from a number of places in the world who are sitting with me. Now, you may or may not be crafting, but suddenly it's a communal thing again. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I thought I did. Went a bit too far. And suddenly I'm not alone anymore. Now, I don't really suffer from loneliness. In fact, I relish being on my own. And therefore, there is a big distinct difference between being alone and actually being lonely with it. But it is so nice to have people to talk to, and people who, you know, maybe don't do this craft but do other crafts and want to talk about what they've done and something they're doing. And, you know, we'll talk about any old craft here. We're not craftists here. You can, you know, if you can bring up any of the crafty things that you do. So it's nice to have a community. But one of the biggest problems with Twitch is Twitch primarily is run by and for gamers. Now, hence people like Asmongold get, you know, 30k viewers, and most of the time he's talking crap. You know, he's talking no more sense than I ever do, but he gets 30,000 followers, and I get, 4. Now, as we found last night, I was slightly overwhelmed when I got raided with 100 people. Or the best part of 100 people. Yeah, that kind of knocked me a little bit for surprise, because, you know, I'm not used to it. But, you know, I could get used to it. More, thank you, Rory. Come on. Thank you. What? Yes, you had biscuits. Now, don't look at me like there's more. You had a lot. You did. Yes, you're very cute. That's right, he's now going to try and stand on my lap. Hang on. You are a good boy. You're allowed to say thank you for the biscuits. Come on. Hello. Hello. Yes, you're beautiful. Yes, you are. You have been good, which is why you got biscuits. Yes, you did. You had lots of biscuits. Lots. Yes, you did. But now is not the time. No. Now is not the time. Come on, off you go. Come on. Oh, lie me down. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yes, I thank all of you for coming, because it is nice to have you here. And just because you can't, Yay! Hello, my friend. How are you? Well, for the few hours I got, and then I got up, and I'm a little bit kind of disjointed, but that's because the clocks have changed, I think, more than the I actually was up till 4 o'clock in the morning problem. I mean, don't get me wrong, being up till 4 o'clock in the morning is not sensible at my age. And, as a number of people on threads pointed out, it takes like a month to get over the clock change. But, I feel that is more of the problem than the 4 o'clock in the morning thing, so I feel... Because, of course, in my head, it's only 1:15, Just don't be annoying. Just line up, stay on the stick. Let the elastic go round you and you'll all be safe and sound. Stop fighting it. Now you can go out the way over there. You can move over because we don't need you. Now I've got the itches again. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know what it is, but my back constantly seems to itch. And there doesn't seem to be anything obviously wrong with it. It's done it for months. It's not a new thing. But it seems to constantly itch. And I've got this rather glorious back scratcher, which has some really valid teeth on it. And it looks really quite menacingly, dangerous. But it's actually not. They're very rounded teeth. And it's got a telescopic handle, which makes it incredibly good for the old back scratching. So you'd have to half Nelson yourself to try and scratch everything. But I find it very difficult to think when I itch. And I do itch when I'm stressed. Now, not usually on the back, but I do get additional itches, and that really doesn't help. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you go over there. So yes. And before Nautica asks, I do intend to do more of the T word today, but it will be after stream, and it will depend how long I stream for. For I have a really good view of it right now, and hello, and yeah. Biggest problem in here is not the pile, but actually it is a bookshelf and a table that I've got in here. The table is propped on its end. Oh, good. This is a good thing. But I've got a table in here propped on its end, and let's call it a bookshelf. It's not actually a bookshelf, but it is a bookshelf with prongs in it. It's for holding cones, so you can do multiple threads while winding a warp for your weaving loom. And I kind of want to take it upstairs. Don't ask. I just kind of... It should go in the weaving room, duh. But, well, there's things in the weaving room that can't really move anywhere else. So there isn't entirely space in there. But where it is in here is kind of annoying, as is the table. And if the table and it went, this room would feel a lot bigger. Almost maybe too big, but it would feel a lot bigger. So, I don't know. It's but I can't carry the bookshelf up by myself. I certainly can't carry the table upstairs by myself. And, well, there's no one to assist. So, the bookshelf is somewhat trapped where it is, which, of course, is why it is where it is. Because, well, there isn't really anywhere else for it to go. Hang on. No. No. What is... Once again, Kimber. You need to be over there. And you... There. Right. So you are an... you're... Right. It's got you ready. You can go down there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go back on your stick. fair enough. It is reasonable here, actually. The sun is not like out, but it is attempting to be mostly present. Um, Happy Mothering Sunday to all the Brits. If your mother is around, I hope you wished a happy Mothering Sunday. If you can't stand her, well, never mind, eh? There are a few. Apparently, I don't keep track of these things. I believe so. I strongly believe it is Mothering Sunday today. Hang on. We'll ask Google. Hang on. Sunday 30th of March. Today. It is today. Go phone your mother. Tell her how much you love her, even if you lie. Right? Go there. Yeah, again, it's like daylight savings, like we said last night. The biggest problem is because not everyone does it at the same time, and the world now is very much a smaller place. You know, so you hear more about the American Mothering Sunday than you do the British one. So, I don't know. I mean, to be honest, I can't even remember where I heard it was Mothering Sunday, and but I did, and you know, and there is, as you say, there's a bit of you going, is it now? Okay, you know, let's face it. If I didn't have clocks that changed, I'd probably not remember when it was daylight savings. So, because again, it's not like Christmas that falls on, you know, a specific date, because of course it's always a Sunday. So, it seems to vary so much, just like Easter. You know, how are you supposed to keep track of these things, really? You know. Seems mighty hard work. Oh, look, it's ad time. On the good news, Doctor Who is doing its new season, series, whatever you want to call it, starting in a couple of weeks, which will be hopefully good. I am one of those people who suffers from new Doctor syndrome, in that it takes me a while to warm up to a replacement. And then, of course, how can it be of any different? But I haven't warmed up to the current one yet. I don't hate him. I really don't. It just doesn't feel Doctor Who-y kind of thing. So yeah, I'm a little bit kind of on the fence. I mean, if it's any consolation, so when they rebooted it and we had Chris Eccleston, I was very happy with that, because we'd not really transferred from someone else directly. There'd been quite a bit of time between the old and the new, and, you know, brain felt perfectly fine having Chris Eccleston, and he did a very good job. We liked that. I was really, really kind of sad that, at the, you know, it was said that, you know, well, at the end of series 1, you know, this, he's leaving. It's like, what do you mean you're leaving already? You know, Doctor Who's seasons are pretty damn short at the best of times, right? Did I add one? I think I did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So to have him be, like, you know, on his way out already, it's you're almost over before you started. That seems a little bit defeatist. And of course, the next one up was David Tennant, and I hadn't seen him in anything particular at this point. And he was like, you know, he's going to be one of the youngest Doctor Who's so far. And it's like, younger? Oh, goodness. You know, he's supposed to be 900 and something years old. Now, I know, you know, how they look is kind of irrelevant. But anyway, the first episode, it wasn't bad. But by episode 2 or 3, I'd kind of warmed up a bit. And by episode 4, I was well in for that. And, you know, I love David Tennant's Doctor Who's. Now, I look forward to when I watch the reruns and David Tennant comes along, because I really liked his Doctor. You know, then when Matt Smith came along, Matt Smith, he's going to be the youngest. It's like, Jesus, what are they going to do? Have Doctor Who at infant school? I mean, come on. And he was a little bit crazy for me. Now, I'm crazy, so, you know, I'm hardly one to judge. But, you know, for a man who'd been around like length of time, you do expect a little bit of age and wisdom. And he didn't kind of have that. But I still kind of clearly, I mean, I named my dogs after his companions, so I don't hate it. And, you know, I kind of really liked the whole storylines, and, you know, everything seemed good. Peter Capaldi. Now, we went back to a little bit more kind of elderly, kind of been and seen the place kind of age range, and there were a few things about the Doctor that I kind of felt were a little bit weird, but, you know, he's 900 something years old. He's been floating around in his box a while. He probably is going to be a bit weird. So, you know, I can cope with that. 1, 2, 3, 4. When we came to Jodie Foster, now, I know there were a lot of people who were, oh no, it can't be a woman. Why not? Missy was a fantastic master. I really loved Missy. I thought that was played really well. So, a female Doctor, yeah, I can do a female Doctor, you know, in principle, not a problem. But like everything, there are actors and things, Doctor Who was always done so that you could change the actor. And I thought that was a very clever part of what they did, because it did give it the potential for huge longevity, without kind of wrecking it, because we all know that when you change a main character in a series because they've left to go and do bigger, better things, it's never quite the same. You know, if you took the Agatha Christie Miss Marples with Joan Hickson, and then in the last series ram someone else in as Miss Marple, it would never have been the same. If you have, well, you know, they did it in Neighbours. They replaced Scott with Jason Donovan, and you know, he had an accident and suddenly he was Jason Donovan, and it was kind of like, didn't he look different last week? You know, changing major actors can really break programs. I think the new Marvel film's going to struggle a little bit because they're going to have the guy who played Sam playing Cap. Now, sure, in Endgame, you know, Cap did hand over the shield and say, well, it's your job now. But not necessarily to be Captain America, to do the same job. And I think if they'd done it that way, it made sense. But in the credits for the current film that's about to come out or whatever, or that they're making, he is listed as Captain America. Well, it was almost bad enough when they changed from War Machine to the Iron Patriot and changed the actors then. It's... you know, you have to be careful changing actors because people can feel allegiance to the actor and that played the part. And I definitely do to an extent with Doctor Who for a bit. And to be honest, that is part of the joy of Doctor Who, is because they deliberately, you know, built in a way to change the Doctor. You are supposed to feel the difference. You are, you know, it's the, you know, ooh, I've all changed and you know, ooh, what's this? And things don't taste the same. And, you know, they are a whole new person. They don't pretend that there isn't a change, which is quite refreshing, to be honest. But at the same time, you know, I'm a creature of habit. You know what you like, and you've got used to it, and you're happy with that one. There was, you know. So when they introduced Jodie Foster, I didn't particularly have a problem with it being a woman, but the storylines were just a little bit, and then on top of it, I just didn't mesh with that particular Doctor. Now, the story got a lot better towards the end of her time, but, well, she was going by then, and I can't say I was particularly sad that she was leaving. Now, it's not a reflection on her acting ability. It was, an awful lot of it was the stories. Because they changed all the writers, they changed literally everything with Doctor Who when they did that. But now they brought back, you know, the original guys. But I haven't quite meshed with the new Doctor or the new style of stories. I want to, but they just don't have the same pull to me as Doctor Who stories used to. Yeah, I will happily rewatch all of the other stories, and I'm eager to watch, and even though I already know what's coming, I'm still eager to watch them. But I don't rewatch the Jodie stuff. Jodie Whittaker, sorry. Don't rewatch her stuff, because, well, it didn't really work for me. So once, you know, Peter Capaldi's out, that's it. I kind of, yeah, whatever. And am I too old for Doctor Who? You know, is this a thing? Can you be too old for Doctor Who? Yeah, it's not taken me this long to wind up to a Doctor yet, and the fact that we had a whole series with him. The stories were alright. But I just didn't get on with it. I do wonder if it's because it's a little bit overly flamboyant. You know. I wonder if that's part of my problem, is that it's just one stage too nutty for me. Ah, hindsight is a glorious thing. Well, at least it's clean dog hair that you've just plastered around your clothes. I mean, yeah. I shouldn't be laughing, but it's the kind of thing I'd end up with. Um, I can assure you, hairy bras are worse. It's not that warm here. It's sunny-ish, but it's not particularly warm. But it's apparently going to get a bit warmer. I think is the plan. Let's have a quick look. See what the weather app says. So it's going to be warmer tomorrow, colder, and then kind of back the same way as it was Wednesday, and then warmer on Thursday, getting properly warm on Friday, and then immediately getting cold again. And yeah, it's on the up, but most weekends it dips by the looks of it. So typical British weather. The moment you can actually use it, it's cold, wet, and horrible. If it was a bit warmer, I'd say, stream over. I'm going to go out and sit in the garden, but it's a bit cold for that. I'd kind of need blankets and a jacket, and it's kind of defeating the point a bit. Yeah, if you can get like a sheltered spot with, a bit of sun, so if you've got a window that you can have the sun streaming through, dog's dead happy because, there's a warm spot to lie in. But outside is not that warm, and the slightest bit of breeze, and it's really not that warm out. But as you say, it is good for laundry, so, you know, not complaining, but it just means it's not the Liz going and sitting in the garden weather. We're not quite there yet. For fellow craftings, do remember to drink while you're doing this. Brain cells like their lubrication. Have fun. Don't see why it would be. I mean, many people make them out of crochet bands, so long as it works, why not? Be quite nice, I think, to be honest, to have it made out of lace and be, you know, your friends made this. You know, your ancestors are helping you, kind of thing, to the bobbin. come on, I just shortened that a whole load. How can that not be shorter? Right, you're done. Don't need you for a bit. Don't need you for a bit. Just looked at the clock. I thought I'd been doing this longer than that. Feels longer. That's not a good sign for the day. Felt much longer than an hour, that's for sure. Wrong way around, Kimber. They're fine. So, you get to the edge. So, you are actually one too many. Go back to bed. You are cast out already. Good afternoon, morning, whatever. Happy Mother's Day from the UK. How are you? Everyone in England is slightly confused today because it was daylight savings as of 1 a.m. this morning. Well, technically 2 a.m. You know how it is. Clocks went forward, so we're all an hour out. No one knows what time it is. They've forgotten what day of the week it is. They don't know what year it is. We see, and this is part of the problem, because we don't agree when Mother's Day is. It gets really confusing. Plus, I'm fairly sure our Mother's Day moves. It's not a particular date I've had to worry about for the last few years, so I'm a little bit kind of, but I'm pretty sure Mother's Day moves. Almost along the lines of, like Easter moves, some months it's April, some months it's March, some months it's this, and you're like, just tell me when it is, and I'll work it, I'll deal with it. But I'm quite fortunate in that I don't have to particularly worry about Mother's or Father's Day anymore, from that point of view. For I have neither in my life. So from that, I don't have to worry about when it is. But I also know it is hella complicated. I remember as a child, it confused the heck out of me as to when things were. And don't get the hump, little one. Dog's got the hump. Come back here. Come back here. Little one. You are incredibly annoying, Miss Trample-a-Lot. Yes, you are. Miss Trample-a-Lot here, Miss Paws and Alien Facehugger, came in from the garden earlier today, limping, like 0 weight on a paw. And I had no idea what she'd done, because she'd been out in the garden and she hadn't been out there very long, so she kind of done up, you'd like to think she hadn't got up to that much mischief. But she literally was putting 0 weight on it whatsoever, doing the 3-legged dog trick. And I gave it a poke and a prod and a yank and a feel and a twist and a pull and, pull it, yank it, bip it, bop it kind of thing. And she seemed fine. Nothing hurt her, nothing. She wasn't resisting any of it. And she just started putting weight on it, and it's like, did you tread on something icky? You are a funny little girl. Yes, you are. You are a strange one, and I can't always tell what you're thinking. No. I know what your brother thinks most of the time. Awesome. Dead sheeps. Cleaning dead sheeps. Nothing wrong with that. I know it's not a dead sheep. It was something my ex-husband used to call it. Because, when you've got like 3 or 4 bags of fleeces floating around, it does look like you've tried to shove, dead sheep in a bag. And so the name remained. It is a dead sheep. Yes. Little one. Sitting on my hands does not help. No. No, it doesn't. No. And headbutting me doesn't help either. No. Can I chew your ears? Can I chew your ears? Nice. I actually quite enjoy spinning in the grease. For some reason. Maybe it's the lazy within. But I quite find spinning in the grease quite pleasurable. I mean, you still got to wash it at some point, but, I'm not going down the same route as yesterday. We don't need him that. Depends what kind of pattern you're after, really. I saw a beautiful pattern yesterday. It would make great for curtains, but for the price they wanted, yeah, no. See if I can find it for you. Hang on. Actually, I know where I can find it. Hang on, it'll be in here. Think. So, if I go to here. Oh! Thanks for that. So, if I show you this pattern was a pattern that I saw on Facebook of two ladies making. Now, the idea of this one is you make ribbons with follow-up of intermingling the stitches in between. And you can, and as per its description, hang on, is that in Italian or English? Hang on, we can translate that, but the pattern says, you know, you'll have a unique item, and, you know, well, it's not very unique if everyone can buy it, is it? But look at the price of it. Come on, Rory. It's a very expensive pattern. Now, it is quite long. It's 2 meters long. So, obviously, and it is sent on a single piece of paper. So, for that, I appreciate that the paper is good quality paper, all in all of that. But still, €110 is a lot of money for a pattern. But the idea is a nice one. Has potential and all those kind of things. Sorely tempted to do something similar. But it is just that little bit, you know. It's a lot of money for a pattern, that. Anyway, the idea is quite nice, but the pattern itself, I'm not sure I can justify that kind of cost on a pattern. Now, if it came with you know, with a personal tutor and you know, all that, perhaps. But just for a piece of paper with some ink on it. Can't feel that one's a tad overpriced. I can send you the link if you want. Hang on. Where'd it go? Where did it go? Oh, did I close it? I must have closed. I thought I just tabbed away. I'm forever doing this. I click on things and... Hang on. I click on things and I gotta... Yeah. Where are you? Go away, the whole lot of you. Oops. I copied... Why is it? Windows is really shit at this sometimes. You click on something, you highlight something, you copy and paste it, or you go to copy it, and you paste it, and it hasn't actually copied it. But it doesn't kind of go, Bing can't do that. It just kind of goes there. Can't be asked. And then when you need it, it's not there no more. We get it a lot at work. And we always assumed it was the Snoopy tools on laptops that were occasionally blocking things and slowing it down and it would give up or something. But kind of weird sometimes because I know I copied that. I also occasionally get one. I get this on my phone more than anywhere else. But actually I get it in YouTube more than anything else. You search for something in YouTube and you kind of go, yeah, okay. So you click in the search bar and start typing to change it, to refine it a bit more, and nothing's happening. It's not. You get it in Outlook as well. You type in same thing. You type in the search bar, you search, and it says, no, I don't have any of those, or here's 50 billion of them because they all contain the word the. Well, it does look simple enough, but I kind of like the idea of it. I think that idea could work well for a net curtain. Probably would want to shrink it a bit to make the mesh a little bit more, well, mesh. But you know, again, it's the food for thought. Well, you know, if I did that, that would alleviate a lot of the join issues because you could do a lot of the work, you know. You do kind of like all the motifs beforehand almost, and then you join it up with kind of the mesh afterwards. And well, if you do it like that, of course, if you plan your motifs on the mesh adequately with small detail and whatever, you can make sure you never have any really long bits. You don't need that many bobbins alive at any one point in time, and you know it could work out quite well. So, you know, paying €110, however, maybe not. You know. That's kind of a little bit, yeah. But the actual pattern and the idea, I mean, obviously... Oh, hang on. Spam bot alert. Hang on. Fingers stuck in my stick. Hang on. I hope they realise they come to die when they do this. You know. I mean, obviously recreating it in its entirety would be infringing their copyright, but taking their idea and working on a similar principle is certainly not against copyright because, well, it's just a bunch of stitches and you can't really copyright that. because the stitches you don't own in the first place. So, but I do quite like the idea of it. I think it has good potential in terms of neck curtainy event. Right, spam bot is already dead. That's not the right number of bobbins. Well, I confess, I was really hoping I'd do a lot today. But I confess I really don't feel like tackling the big square. Feels very defeatist though. Look, I see a mistake. Story of my life. Oh look, I see mistakes. Oh, and I see another one as well. Let's show you the ones that I've just spotted. And it definitely comes from taking the pins out. I would never have seen this with the pins in. So, across and cross. Right. If you look carefully, this here is wrong, and this here is also wrong. Some of these have doesn't look too great, but it's partly because it's where you turn the corner, and if they slightly untwist and it's hard to tell, it can go a bit wrong, which is why I left the pins up to try and prevent some of that. Clearly didn't work as well as I hoped. But what I can do is find the pin here and tug you around a bit more so that you are covering a bit more of your share of the corner. Like that. So let's have a bit of a pin sort out. You three can come out. That helps. And who else is on the other side of the line? You are. And you two. And you. And you. And you. Move you down. I don't know how you came up in because you should be down. Because you're part of the first row in. You, however, and you. Yeah. Now, everybody is this side of the line. And if I straighten up this end a bit, now we've got everybody sorted. Take you out a minute, and we place you back down the actual line. A bit of tension on. Like that. Do I tackle the square? Well, good luck with that. Yeah, I am very glad that an awful lot of my work is very much because I want to, and not because it is my income. Gives me the opportunity to say I'm really not in the mood for that and not do it for a bit, or completely change it, or change my mind, or hate on it when I'm done, or I'm gonna put these pins back in the pot actually. Thing is if I do the big square, we're like halfway through, pretty much. But don't do the big square. It doesn't look like we've done that much. The big square in the middle definitely truly is a very much part of a turning point. Because the moment you've done the big square, it feels like you're on the race to the end. Before the big square, it's like the brow of the hill. It's definitely the peak of my mountain. And because it's slap bang in the middle, it represents the getting there and the time to come. And at this point, the joy somewhat leaves my soul. Because it is a big square, you end up with lots of bobbins no matter what you do. And my heart still wants to be making test strips and trying other things and all manner of stuff. So, my heart's really not in it. I was doing really well last night. I was really, considering we only started this triangle last night, I do feel we did pretty well. But I think I also slightly overdid myself by because it was 5 and a bit hours. Slightly overdid myself, and especially ending at 4 o'clock in the morning. And I kind of want to do something else. Don't know what I want to do. Well, I do know what I want to do, but that's a lot of prep work too, and I struggle with the prep work for all my crafts, especially weaving. Spinning, not so much. Spinning, I'm fine. I don't mind the prep work for spinning so much. But basically, prep work for anything else, especially weaving, just really sucks the joy out of it. And it seems to take me forever. And it's only once I actually get to the stomp bash, stomp throw bash kind of thing, that I actually start enjoying it. And with lace making, I enjoy this section as a whole, the actual making thereof. I suck at finishing because the quantity of finishings I've done have been few, and most of them have not been as good as they could have been. Because I never got taught any finishings. I didn't have anyone I could specifically ask questions thereof. Now, I know all the principles, but somehow I'm not so good at doing it. So, this is the stage of the triangle where there is a bit of me that just kind of wants to kind of clock out at this point and go home for the day, and it is a big challenge for me. This square is kind of the hardest point of the whole pattern, not in terms of complexity, just because there are a lot of bobbins in play, and because I'm usually tired because it's usually after work when I'm doing this, so it's usually like a Thursday when it's felt like a long week and I'm kind of looking forward to the weekend, and just got over the hump of the hump day and to walk straight into this, and it kind of mentally, I find it quite draining to do this square because it kind of is the culmination of a lot of things. So, much as I hate myself, I think I'm going to call it quits for the day. Going to have a nap because I need a nap. I would go sit in the garden, but it's not warm enough. Which is, as distinctly a shame. What earth kicked in then? Something in my house kicked in briefly. Wives. That's the kind of where my brain's at. Yeah, whatever. But it's not because I don't want to do it, because I do want to do it. I really want to see my net curtain at the end of it. And I was sitting in the loo earlier and thinking about how nice it could be if I put one in the downstairs toilet, because people might actually see that one. But of course we've got frosted glass, so they're not going to see it from the outside. And I think that's it. If I'd just done staying up, because it would only have been 3 o'clock, of course. Yeah, not so bad. I'd be a bit tired, but yeah, I'd be just a bit tired. Daylight saving, that's the same. Puts you a little bit out of sorts, because you're not quite sure what year it is. And yeah, slightly off colour, so again, I think it is the two together. It was not my wisest decision. I make bad decisions all the time. So I do think that, and this is where having projects that you can do off camera, projects that you can kind of go, hey, look what I've been up to, and kind of maybe do a bit on stream, but also do a load of it off stream, are very beneficial, because, you know, I've done most of my bookmarks that way, just because, you know, I've been practicing picos, or I've been practicing this, or I've been trying that. And so they are a great distraction from the ever repetitiveness of my triangles. And I mean, to be honest, in theory, lace making is exceptionally repetitive, a bit like knitting. You either poke this way, pull that way, wrap that way, do whatever. And there is only really cross and twist, so how many combinations can you arguably have? The answer is more than you might know, but it is rather repetitive, and I think when you've got something repetitive and you're tired, your brain kind of goes with it, and then almost like snaps awake and goes, you've just done all of that wrong. So you then look at it, but your brain's not awake enough to decide whether it was right or not. It just decided it in its half-wake state. Oh my god, did I just hear a mad axe-wielding murderer kind of thing? And it kind of sends out the alarm parties, and you kind of snap to it going, oh, I think I've just screwed all of that up. And you look at it, and it doesn't look that wrong, but it could be. And when you do a big block, it is generally good to have your concentration with you. For it is depressing to find your mistakes way back where you don't really fancy going back and fixing them. So with that in mind, then, I shall see you hopefully tomorrow, assuming Monday doesn't suck, potentially. But we are ahead of ourselves, because obviously normally about this time it's Wednesday, looking at the triangle. This is a kind of a Wednesday state of play. So we are ahead of ourselves in that sense. I was minutely hoping I would be in a really good mood and we'll finish this triangle so we could be a week ahead of ourselves, for every day gained is a bonus. A bit like saving up for things. I need to contact a lady in Belgium. I want to ask her about some bobbins, because they've got some glorious bobbins that I want, but they're not currently shipping to the UK, which I find wholly frustrating. It's like a ferry ride away. What do you mean you're not shipping to the UK? I don't really need more bobbins. I really don't. But I like bobbins. I'm a bit of a bobbin klepto. So, and notebooks. Bobbins and notebooks seem to be, and pens. I had a real thing for pens. I've got better over pens in the last 10 years. I don't have to have all the pens now, but I still have to have all the notebooks. I don't use them, you understand. I just have to have them. And I'm a bit like that with bobbins. I really want to try the hooded German bobbins. They seemed like a really good idea. I want some of those really big Bruges bobbins with the huge balls on the end, because they look fun and, well, stupidly bulky for no good reason. But I really fancy some ebony ones of these. I really, really do. That would be really pretty. Especially against the white ones. So I've got obviously the orangey wood ones and some white wood ones. If I then had some black ones as well, that would be really quite pretty. And they do a couple of other woods in it. And there is this bit of you going, I want all the things. I'm so glad I don't do spangles. Oh dear Lord, I'm so glad I don't do spangles. I hate spangles. But I also want to do some beadwork, lace. I want to practice, can I make strips and invisible joins? I now want to try something similar to the pattern we showed earlier, with ribbony bits that form a kind of, let's call them fronds, but you know, that almost have a bit of a pattern on it, and then you fill it up with other things later. I kind of want to try a bit of that. Really do. Really fancy me a bit of that. So yeah, there is this kind of inner need, you know, and not enough day to do it in. Now, if I could knock out one of these squares in an hour or so, my net curtain would already be done by now. But also, it would be good because I'd be able to try some of these experiments without, you know, committing to a 3-month experiment just to find out if I can do decent joins or not. But I do need to do that, and what I might do later after tea, so I'm going to have a bit of a sit down, stare at some TV for a bit, let this video upload. It took till 6 this morning for my video to upload. Just after 6. I was asleep, I will point that out. I was dead to the world at that point. But it took, you know, a good couple of hours to upload. Which is quite quick for it, to be honest. But I will upload video, watch some TV, eat some food, because, well, I'm eating anything. I had a bacon sandwich, but it's not exactly, you know, living it up. I need a bit of nutrition. Mr. Amazon Man should be coming. So yeah, I will hopefully see you tomorrow. So let's cover everybody up, so that when I put my work laptop on it tomorrow, it doesn't destroy the place. Because this is also my laptop stand, which is a bit strange, I realise that, but it's got this big flat area, which makes it great for standing a laptop on. And why have yet more tables when you've already got one? So, there we go. So yes, thank you for joining me today. Sorry it wasn't a bit longer. Really could have done with it being a bit longer, I suppose. But, yes. I shall hopefully see you all tomorrow. Probably somewhere in the 6-7 o'clock tomorrow time is the expected time. So that's 2 to 3 hours from now, tomorrow. So yes, thank you for your accompaniment. I hope you have a lovely day. I hope if the weather is nice, you get to enjoy it. And hopefully I shall see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.